Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be my top 10 tips that beginners and newcomers to the game should know and understand, so let's get into it. Alrighty, first of all, if you are a super advanced player, you're probably not going to get a whole lot out of this video. This is more designed to help players who are just kind of starting and wondering, hey, what are some things that I should know and take advantage of before I dive into playing this game? So that's what this video is designed around. And I'll just jump right into it here. Number one is going to be resource management and preparing for the daily reset. So up here, we see that we have energy, arena tokens, and we also have clan boss battle keys once we are in a clan. Now, we don't want to sit at maximum of these resources. We don't want to sit at 2 out of 2 clan boss keys or sit at maximum energy or above max energy or above max arena tokens, because then we are not generating anything. We want to be in a state of permanent generation so that we are constantly regenerating these resources. If you sit above max energy and like go to sleep or something, that whole time you're sleeping, you're wasting all that energy that you would have generated. And over the course of a few weeks or months, that can really add up to make a huge difference. So try and make sure to manage that and try to stay beneath those thresholds so that you're constantly generating resources. Number 2 is going to be farming stage 3 is usually best, especially for new players. And the reason being is stage 3 drops shields, and shields are going to sell for about 10% more than any other artifact. So over the course of time, hundreds and thousands of runs, it's going to add up to a lot of extra silver. And the XP trade-off that you lose by not farming stage 6 really is pretty minimal. I believe in most cases, stage 3 is about 1 to 2% less XP than stage 6. So trading off that 1 or 2% to get 10% more silver is usually worth it. But in general, you're going to want to farm stages 3 and 6. If you're really min-maxing the XP, then go for stage 6. But I believe in general, stage 3 is usually the most optimal stage to farm in terms of when you're grinding out the campaign for XP and silver. Alrighty, tip number 3 is do not waste skill books. This is probably the most common mistake that newcomers to the game make. No, not under battle. Go under champions. So, what people will do is they'll get a champion and they'll be excited about it, and they'll go into the tavern and they will burn their skill books, or they will use like epic skill books on a rare character or even legendary skill books. Okay, never waste your skill books on a champion that is a rarity below that book. So like Elaine here is a rare. I would never use an epic or legendary skill book. I would only use rare skill books on her. And I would not invest skill books into a champion that you don't plan on at least 5-starring or probably 6-starring, especially at the beginning of the game. You're going to want to be focusing on like 1 or 2 or maybe 3 champions until you really get up and running. So save those skill books when you get them. They seem like they come on a pretty regular basis when you're a new player, but trust me, they come a lot slower when you are later in the game. So really use your skill books judiciously and wait until it is a champion that you're sure you're going to use for a while and really plan on investing in. Alrighty. So number 4 is do not waste XP buff while it is up. You see this little icon up here, XP boost. This means that you are earning 100% increased XP. And when you're a new player, you're going to have that up fairly often because there's lots of these XP boosts that you get from completing quests and missions and challenges. And while you have this up, you shouldn't be like grinding dungeons or doing things that aren't going to be generating XP, because later down the road, you're not going to have that XP buff anymore unless you're willing to spend money, and you're going to wish that you had spent the time of your XP buff grinding XP. I would say until my account was like level 45 or 50, I solely focused on XP, just grinding out XP while I had these XP buffs active to get as much food generation as I possibly could so that I could make my champion arsenal as strong as possible. So yeah, while this is live, you're going to want to prioritize getting XP and don't waste that to be grinding dungeons and stuff. Now you can do it like on the side to complete a mission or stuff like that, but don't focus on like grinding dungeons for 2 or 3 days when you have these XP boosts live. You're going to want to be getting XP instead. Alrighty. So number 5 is going to be focus your power on a core, 2 or 3, 4 champions instead of, spreading yourself too thin. I actually made this mistake as a new player. I spread myself out way too thin and I didn't get a 6-star champion as quick as I should have. So I'm learning from that mistake and passing that knowledge on to you. You're going to want to get a 6-star campaign farmer as soon as possible. So we'll see a lot of newer players kind of spread themselves out super thin and get lots of champions to level 40 and level 50 instead of getting someone to 6 stars. You're going to want to, it's better to get 1 or 2 champions to 6 stars than to have 10 or 15 5 stars. And ideally, you're probably going to want to make your first 6-star champion a magic affinity hero, because the end game of farming in the campaign is going to be levels that are mainly revolving around spirit enemies. We can see here 12-3 is mainly spirit, and then stage 6 here is going to be spirit and magic mainly. So to leave yourself the best options for endgame farming, you're going to want your first 6-star to probably be a magic or void affinity and have it be somebody with lots of AoE damage that you are able to max out their skills, and they're going to be able to farm the campaign on brutal to get you the most XP gain per energy spent. Alrighty, so number 6 is going to be event management, and we'll see here on the right there's always an event that's live, and then there's upcoming events, and you're going to want to plan around these. So we'll see here that I've got a lot of shards sitting here, but I'm not using them. I'm letting them sit there, and the reason being is I'm waiting for a summoning event so that I will get credit for winning prizes when I spend those shards. So I would recommend to plan around events. If you have a champion that's ready to be 6-starred, you might want to wait until there's an event for ranking up champions, because then you're going to get a big boost towards completing that event. Or wait to spend your shards until there is a summoning event. That way you're going to get a big boost towards those prizes. Instead of doing things and getting no credit for them, it can be more optimal to wait until there is an event to plan around to generate yourself extra prizes and earnings for spending your resources. Alrighty. Number 7 is going to be do not sacrifice rare champions. This is another really common mistake that I see of new players. They will have an epic that they don't think they use very often, or they'll even get a legendary that they're not super excited about getting, and they'll go into the tavern and when it comes to making somebody 6 stars, they'll start throwing in epics and legendaries and stuff. I actually have mine locked, so I can't even do it here for the video. But yeah, they'll start throwing in epics and high level rares and even legendaries. I've seen people do not do that. When you're going to rank somebody up to 6 stars, you're going to want to use commons and uncommons. We'll see here in my champion vault, I've got all of these uncommons sitting at level 40 that are ready to rank up to 5 stars that I can use as food. I do not use my rares and epics and especially legendaries to rank up other champions. Take the time, do it right, level up your uncommons and commons to be food for your champions that you are investing in. Do not sacrifice champions that are of high rarity. Number 8 is going to be keep an eye on important missions that are coming up. So a good example of this is you'll see people be like, oh, I have a couple heroes I want to make 5 stars, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then look what happens. There's a mission coming up, upgrade 2 champions to level 50. And then that event's going to come up in a day or two, and you're going to be like, crap, I just upgraded 2 champions to level 50. And then you won't get credit for this. Some of these do not give you back earned credit. You have to do it when it is live. So you're going to want to wait and you're going to want to keep an eye on kind of what's coming up for your missions so that you're not going to be grinding something right before you get credit for it. So in my shoes, I'd be like, okay, so I can see that upgrade 2 champions to 5 stars coming up. I might want to save up some food to be able to do that for when that event comes up. That way I'm not wasting and having to do it over again and not getting credit for things that I'm doing. Number 9 is going to be market farming. This is going to be very crucial for you to generate good artifacts, and it can be a lot better than grinding out the artifact dungeons when you have an XP buff live. This is a way for you to get artifacts while you're still generating XP and not having to grind the dungeons. So the market refreshes once an hour. We can refresh it just by clicking on it. Excuse me, I need to get a drink here. My voice is getting dry, talking too fast. Okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, we can click on these and look at these items and look for good picks. And sometimes you'll see ones that have a border around them, and those you can get at a discounted price. That's what that border means. There's not one here that has it. You'll see sometimes they have like a fancy border, and what that means is the item is discounted and you can get it for a cheaper price than normal. But yeah, so you're going to want to kind of log into the game once an hour so that you can refresh this market. It won't refresh unless you log in and open the market, but you can go through here and kind of find artifacts that are good purchases. Like this is a good one here. This is a weapon with crit rate and accuracy. I wouldn't buy it because it's the curing set that I'm not really using at the moment, but that's an example of you can find good 5-star artifacts that have main stats that you want without having to grind the dungeons. And the market farming is also a good way to keep your shard count up, buy mystery shards and ancient shards when you see them. All right, and number 10 is going to be arena speed and turn order. This is something that a lot of new players don't grasp. They just kind of throw together an arena team and they go. You're going to want your arena team to go in a certain order. Now, first, you're going to want like your buffer to go. Like if you have a champion that increases attack or does some sort of decrease attack to the enemy, you're going to want that champion to have the highest speed. And then if you have a champion that snowballs, like Relic Keeper, as long as he gets a kill, he goes again. So I want him to go last so that he gets a kill, gets a kill, gets a kill, and kind of cleans up the low HP enemies. So you see the speed rating down here, 104 plus 28. You're going to want your kind of turn booster or attack booster to have the highest speed so that they go first. They buff your party, and then you have your other characters kind of fall in line behind. And you want characters that either debuff the enemy team or buff your team to go before characters that are just focusing on raw damage. That way you're getting optimal use out of the order of your arena team and the order that they're functioning in. Champions will go in the order of their speed, so you ideally want higher speed than the enemy team unless you're going to play a super defensive style, and you want to kind of get these numbers within your team to go in the proper order, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that you have an order of operations that's optimal for your arena team. Alrighty, that's going to do it for my 10 tips that new players should know about and use. So if you have any suggestions about something that I forgot or would have been good for the video, definitely drop it down in the comments so that other people can see it. I always like to hear what other people think. And if you have any questions, leave me a comment. I'll do my best to respond and help you out. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.